Cardiff Bet Radio.
And action.
Coming up on today's show,
we have all the latest news from Bucks with Will Hellerman.
we take a look back at the Six Nations results.
I can't believe it, to be honest.
We have a chat with our friends from Ball State.
And we have a look at the upcoming FA Cup fixtures tonight.
He's looking for a fifth here tonight. And he gets it.
Hello and welcome to Cardiff Met Sport Radio. I'm Will Stevens.
And I'm Toby Hill.
And at the moment we're joined here by Will Hellerman. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Will. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you. Thanks for coming on. And you're going to talk to us about the Bucks fixtures on campus and away from campus today. Can you tell me who's playing?
Yeah, so today on campus, the men's football seconds played a semi-final of the men's national trophy against Nottingham seconds. Met are currently second in the lead, training Mets first by a point. The men's badminton first also played UE firsts, which started at 1 o'clock. UE are joint first and Met are currently in fourth. There's a lot more games off campus today, Will. Men's rugby first played top of the league Exeter, who are currently unbeaten at home. That kicked off at 2 p.m. and it currently and Exeter just scored a try now. Met will be looking to break into the top four, though currently sitting at fifth in the league, so that's not a good result for them so far. Met water polo first, playing a national trophy semi-final away to Birmingham firsts. Met are currently unbeaten this season and also sit 6-0 in the league. The Met volleyball first play Aberystwyth first at 3 o'clock, and Aberystwyth the chance to overtake Met with a win today. And finally, the women's rugby first travel up to Loughborough in their penultimate game of the season and will go second with a win today.
Very exciting, and we're going to join there at the moment by Cam Hitt and Rhys David, who are travelling with the women's first away to Loughborough on the bus. Cameron Hitt, can you hear me?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Cam.
We can hear you.
How are you doing? How's it going on the bus?
Not too bad. It's looking good. Weather's a little bit grey, getting a bit rainy now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've had a nice swell trip up. Yeah. Drive, how long have we got before we get there? 10 minutes. So yeah, we're looking good. And yeah, the girls are all ready to go.
How's the atmosphere on the bus at the moment, Cam? Is it raucous? And what have they been doing to prepare? Have you seen any pre-match rituals or anything going on the bus?
Ooh, well, yeah, it's pretty raucous. It's an excitable atmosphere. We stopped in the services, and yeah, the only two people who had a McDonald's were me and Rhys. So I think that tells you they're in a positive state of mind. We certainly ain't. So yeah, no, it's looking good.
Beautiful stuff. And can you tell us anything about the lineups today? Any star players are playing? EC Cantrell? Anyone?
Yeah. Yeah, EC is obviously the big one. First game for her in 21 weeks. And, yeah, back on the pitch. Really, really important for them to have her back. We've got two players who appeared in the Celtic Challenge, Denai Mugabe and Nicole. Both back in the team today. Denai actually playing on the wing for a change, which obviously normally lines up at flanker. So, yeah, different role for her today. But, yeah, I think a few names back. Obviously, there's still a couple out with the Celtic Challenge. The Cardiff twins, Maisie Davis, Lightning, and Saren Singleton for Brighton Thunder. So yeah, there's a couple out, but they definitely are in a much better position than they were a couple of weeks ago as far as player availability. So yeah, looking forward to it.
And what does this mean, kind of, Cam? This match, what's riding on it? Obviously, their last match was postponed because of the weather. So going into this one, what are they thinking? And how important is it for Met to get a win here against Loughborough?
Yeah, Toby, it's really important. Obviously, I think they were expecting this to be their last game of the regular season before the playoffs. But now, with that Durham game being postponed, they sort of got that Durham game in the bank. So it isn't all riding on this particularly, but yeah, a win today would just completely secure second, so that would be huge for them as far as who they play in the upcoming playoffs. So yeah, they'd be looking to win. But even if they don't win, a bonus point loss or a bonus point before tries would be huge, just as far as league standings, because obviously coming second, they would subsequently get a much easier playoff first round and obviously be at home at Kincoid, which would be a huge advantage.
And that's really exciting stuff, Cam. How has the bus been on the way up there? How's your journey been so far?
Yeah, very roomy. We've actually been quite lucky. We've got in Edward's coach, which was the old coach for Cardiff City, and I think the Welsh Rugby Union have used it, right? Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, it's been very comfortable. We've got some nice roomy seats. There's also some massage tables at the back. I haven't got to use them yet, but hopefully in due time I'll be able to pop on them for 5.
Well, that's very exciting. Thanks for talking to us. Just before we leave you, Cam, we're going to ask all our guests this today because we're interested. We heard this question earlier. In terms of sneezing, if sneezes cease to exist, Cam, how long would it take for you to know? How long would it take for you to notice if sneezes just cease to exist? No one could sneeze anymore.
I'll be honest, I thought about this a lot. Thanks for asking. Probably, I'd say maybe around November time, I'd get a little bit suspect. Is it only extended life for me?
So that's
Or
like
for
everyone,
away.
for everyone.
I think people would notice before me. I think people with quite a frequent array of colds would probably catch on. But I think the only time I'd really feel an issue with it was around Christmas time, because I normally get a pretty regular Christmas cold, and I feel very suspect about it all. But so that's thanks for that question. Very sport related as well. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, no worries, my friend. Thank you so much for talking to us,
Thank
and
you,
we'll
Cam.
see you soon.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Well, that was Cam Hitt and Rhys Davitt who travelled away on the bus to a very exciting game for the women's first today. How do you see that match going, Tobes?
I mean, I think, as Cam mentioned, very, very important game. And, I mean, a great time to have the players come back. They mentioned, obviously, Danai's back playing in a position that she perhaps hasn't done as much for Cardiff Met. And, of course, to have EC come back, I mean, I'm sure for her being kind of mentally strong, because she thought after, as Cam mentioned, 21 weeks out, she thought she'd be making her return against Durham last week. Didn't, because a bit of a calamity, a bit of a mix-up led to the match being postponed. So I think truly going to be an important game for them, but one that I'm quite confident. I know last time when Loughborough actually came here, they won. I think it was like 26-15 or something. So
Convincing win.
Yeah, good result, convincing win. Didn't concede a point in the second half, so hopefully they can continue that and get the win away at Loughborough.
Yeah, great. And sticking with rugby, we've had a huge weekend of Six Nations results. England losing to Scotland and Wales losing to Ireland. Italy came very close to beating France in the last minute of the game. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the Six Nations rugby at the moment. We're just going to start with Paolo Garbizi's kick at the end of the Italy game. So it's Italy's fly half. He has a kick at the end of the game. It's 13-0. Italy have done really well to fight back against France. And we all know the stop clock on rugby. They got 30 seconds to take their penalties. Garbizi put the ball down. Wind takes it off the cone with about 8 seconds remaining. Another player has to set the ball up. He takes the kick. He hits the post. He misses. The game ends as a draw. Italy are distraught. Now, usually that would be the end of things. Obviously, it's a very sad, emotional tale. But there's been a lot of news concerning this. So the French players, they were meant to be 10 meters in front of the original mark, and they infringed on Garbizi as he was kicking the ball. So the rule dictates if the kicker indicates to the referee the intent to kick at goal, the opposing team must stand still with their hands by the side from the time the kicker starts to approach until the ball is kicked. And France were encroaching as they were going through. Now, what do you think of this? Should this have counted?
I mean, if they were encroaching on it, I mean, obviously it's such a big call. It's the last kick of the game.
It's a huge game.
Yeah, in a tie at the moment, 13-0. I think if they have encroached on it, if they've broken the rules, as you just mentioned what the rule said, then yeah, I don't see why it shouldn't have been retaken. Obviously, it would break the French hearts and be a really difficult one for them. But at the end of the day, the rules are the rules. If they've broken it, then they can't complain.
Yeah, the officials didn't pick up on it, so that was a really gutting feeling for Italy. And there's even more controversy in the Six Nations this weekend. So Duhan van der Meer, the Scottish winger who scored a hat-trick against England on the weekend. There's been a lot of controversy because he wasn't actually born in Scotland. He was born in South Africa. Here's what he had to say. Or here's what the head coach had to say.
Yeah, I can't believe it, to be honest. I've never scored a hat-trick for England, and to do it today is obviously so special. But yeah, I can just thank the boys for giving me the opportunity.
What is it about playing England that brings out the best in you?
I don't know what it is. I must be waking up and just feeling like scoring tries. But yeah, I guess I'm just the lucky one to finish them off.
So as we can hear there, Van der Merwe with controversial hat-trick against England. What are your opinions on that? Should players play for the country that they were born in, or should they be allowed to migrate to different countries and play for them?
I think it's a very difficult topic, especially in, I don't know, say like a different sport where if there's some countries that are just so much better than the other countries, if there's a bit of a change in that. So I just, at the end of the day, you can't, I'd find it very hard to tell someone, if say, you know, with this guy, if he was born in South America, but then, I don't know, say he moved to Scotland when he was like 3 or 4, I'd find it very difficult to say to someone like that, no, you can't play for the country that you've lived in for pretty much all of your life because you were born somewhere else. I feel like it's quite murky territory. And especially if, but then on the other way around as well, say if, for, I don't know, in one of us, if we were born in England or Wales, but then our heritage went back somewhere else, how, like, where do you draw the line? Because if it's your great grandparent, can you then say, oh well, I want to play for them, I really resonate with that side of your lineage? Can you say that? I don't know, I feel like you have to draw the line somewhere, but it's such a murky water, difficult territory to really call.
Yeah, well, we've also got a clip of an England player when he was scoring. The commentator called him Welsh. Similar kind of situation. We'll just play that for you now.
What a time to get your first international try. The 21-year-old Welshman has come up big for England here.
Oh, I mean, just listening to that, you can hear the difference between calling a Welshman and playing for England. It's a similar kind of thing. It's a very controversial topic. I mean, as you said, I mean, what can you do? I think it's maybe a good idea. I mean, has the patriotism gone in the Six Nations? Could people argue if you're allowed to play for different countries that you weren't born in?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, quite difficult thing to navigate. I don't think the patriotism has gone. I think, you know, you can probably go out there to where it is and watch the matches, and you'd be able to see the passion and the excitement of the fans. So no, it hasn't gone that. I really don't think so. But then, yeah, calling someone who's playing for England a Welshman, it just does draw you into difficult areas that you've got to navigate, and it's probably quite a poor choice of words from the commentators.
Yeah, I mean, as the commentator, do you think? I mean, we're broadcast students. We're now to analyse these kind of things that happen. Do you think he had that written down? Do you think that was pre-prepared? If
No.
he scored, or you think that was on a whim?
Yeah, I think that's on a whim. I reckon. I'm not sure who the commentator was, but I feel like it's something that, say he was playing like club rugby, it would be a line he'd come out with. But I think, especially after he said Welshman, it almost seemed like he paused for a couple of seconds. Whereas probably wasn't the best thing to say.
Yeah.
But at that point, you know, he said it now, has to commit with it. But yeah, I don't think it's something he would have written down. I think it's just one of those words that just flows.
On a whim.
Yeah.
And similarly, we'll be talking about Gary Neville's comments, talking of sporting comments on a whim. We'll move on to football now. So today, as Will Hellerman mentioned earlier as our Bucks guest, the Bucks 2s are in a semi-final against Nottingham 2s. And head coach Jack Leones, I think I've said that. Okay, maybe Linus had this to say.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the things that, in fairness, we've got right. We've managed the expectations of two teams within the same league really well, with being really clear with what we set out to do, which is one team to get out of the league and the other team to make sure we stay up. We've managed to do that, which is fantastic. We've still got some things to do. Our focus is now firmly on the cup, and the first team's focus is firmly on making sure that we get the playoffs right. But I think the players have to take a lot of credit for how they've been really mature and how they've gone about seeing the bigger picture of the football club and working towards those two objectives. So the players, to be honest, have to take a lot of credit for how they've gone about and how they've conducted themselves this season.
And so we've got a team from the broadcast students that are down there. Not live streaming, we're just catching the highlights. We've got some commentators down there, some cameras. So look on Cardiff Met Sport TV if you want to see the highlights for the game today. Obviously, keep updated on Bucks play. What are your opinions on that game, Toby? How do you think they're going to play? I mean, we're playing at home on King Coyd campus. The Bucks 2s do seem to do well on this territory.
Yeah, very exciting. I know we're getting, you know, normal highlights, also some low angle footage as well. I can't wait, courtesy of Hazard Jones. Can't wait for that one. But yeah, no, I think it's really exciting. I know the Bucks 2s, even though they are the second team, they've been playing in the same league as the first, playing very, very well. So yeah, no, really exciting. And can't wait to see the highlights.
Yeah, no, it should be great. So staying with football, we're going on to the new Welsh women's manager. So it's Rhiannon Wilkinson, and she's recently been appointed just 2 weeks ago. So she's 41 years old. She's from Canada. So her mother is Welsh. She's from South Wales. I think that's what has led her to the job that she's got. She had 183 caps playing for Canada. She's got 2 Olympic bronze medals as a player. She's been to the Olympics 3 times. She's played in 4 World Cups. It's a really impressive CV. She's a former England and Team GB assistant coach. And look, she seems like a great signing for the Wales women's team. So she only got appointed recently, and she's won the first game for the team for the first time in 10 months. So it's really impressive. Do you think it's a good appointment? Is she going to be a revolution for the women's team?
I think it's very, very early to call, of course. It was only, I think, her first game, wasn't it? So can't really say a revolution yet, but are the fans excited? Yes.
Yeah,
Should they
of
be
course.
excited? Yeah, definitely. I mean, as we can look through her CV, she led the USA's Portland Thorns to their National Women's Soccer League Championship in her first season as a head coach. And she's been there doing it for the former England and Team GB assistant coach. So it's not like she's come from America, come from Canada, and hasn't got experience playing within the UK or not playing, sorry, managing and being in the managerial setup here in the UK. So she has already got that experience.
She's adjusted.
Exactly. Her first game's gone well. And yeah, really, really exciting time, I think, for Welsh women's football. And hopefully, hopefully she kicks on and they do well.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to the controversy earlier of players playing for different countries they weren't born in, bit different with managers. I mean, we've seen different examples. You say Fabio Capello, Italian man managing England, for example.
Yes, Sven-Goran Eriksson.
Yeah, there you go. There's even more. So, what do you think of this? I mean, look, her mum was born in Wales. She is Canadian originally. It shouldn't be a problem, though, should it? Just because she's not Welsh?
No, I don't think so. I think, again, it's another one of these things where some people probably would prefer to see a manager for the country that is from that country. But I think especially in this case where her mother's from South Wales, again, I wouldn't see any issue with it, even if she was born, raised, lived in Canada, played in Canada. I don't think you can really have much issue with it, especially as I just mentioned, she's got the experience within the UK football. I think saying to her, no, you're Canadian, you were born in Canada, lives in Canada, you can't then manage the Welsh national team. It doesn't make sense for me. I can understand it from a patriotic sense that, you know, having someone who is from the country understands the values maybe a bit more. But in this case, she is half, or at least her mother's from South Wales. So it's, no issue for me, and hopefully no issue for many others, but I'm sure some people probably disagree.
As there always
is.
So we wish her great luck, and we'll be keeping up to date with the women's national team. We're moving on to the FA Cup. So talking about last night's games, Haaland, 5 goals against Luton, with De Bruyne having 4 assists. Are they the best duo in the FA Cup right now? Are they unstoppable?
I think so. I think best duo in the FA Cup's probably underselling them a bit. I think you can make probably a decent argument of best duo in the Premier League, in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe, to be fair. And the thing is, that people can look at that match and be like, oh, it's only the FA Cup. But Luton aren't a bad side. They're in the Premier League. And they're on the...
Scored 2 goals as well.
Exactly. So he's just incredible. And De Bruyne, to see him come back, I mean, he's getting on a little bit now. What is he, 30, 31? But I think it's one of these things where if he isn't going to stay in the Premier League within British football for a while, because he's getting on a little bit, you have to just enjoy him while he's here. And with Haaland, we can enjoy him for quite a long time, to be fair. I think, he's got a great future ahead of him. He is unstoppable, and Luton couldn't stop him. So, really, really, well, I wouldn't say happy to see them do so well, but, great performance from Man City last night, and Haaland does well again.
Yeah. Hopefully he does well. And over last night, I mean, Newcastle beat Blackburn on pens. Blackburn did quite well there at home, but Newcastle getting through. The FA Cup fairy tale dreamers, Maidstone United, finally went out to Coventry, 5-0 down. Bit of a shame there. But Coventry did well. A great effort from them to even get to this stage of the FA Cup. And the Championship team, Leicester, beat Bournemouth 1-0. So it's a really good result from them. And looking to tonight's section, this might be a bit of a live ACCA section, Toby. You know, we'll put the bets on live for tonight's games. So we'll talk you through them. So Chelsea host Leeds.
Yep.
Forest host Man United. Wolves take on Brighton, and Liverpool versus Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to those matches. I think for me, the standout match, I know it's not one of the big six, but it's actually Wolves-Brighton. I think Gary O'Neill has Wolves playing quite nice football. I quite like watching them. I know sometimes they do rely a bit on a counter-attack, but Brighton and Roberto De Zerbi also play very nice football, so I'm quite looking forward to that one. But yeah, Chelsea Leeds, I don't know, it feels a bit dull to me almost. Like Chelsea at the moment, they don't excite me. Like I can watch them when they're on because, you know, there's a quite a good story there of how they spent so much money yet still find themselves quite poor, but it doesn't excite me. So yeah, for me, Wolves-Brighton, the pick of the bunch.
Yeah. And just to end on football, because our producer's a Charlton fan. Charlton beat Derby, who are second in the League One at Pride Park. Nathan Jones' first win after taking charge a couple of weeks ago. 19-year-old Anderson scored in his debut. That section's over. It's done. It's in. Let's move on. So we're joined here by our guest, Bhavya, and he's going to talk to us about the cricket on Cardiff Met. Bav, how you doing?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for asking.
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. So can you tell us what's been going on? Can you tell us just a little bit about the CIPL on campus, maybe the format of the game for those who don't follow the cricket league so much, and what's it about?
Yeah, well, obviously it's a long winter over here in Britain, and 6 months of off-season means we are a bit rusty. So what we have tried to do as a club is we've had a 10-over indoor cricket format called the CIPL, where we have 8 teams within the Cardiff Met Cricket Club circuit. And yeah, it's just indoor cricket. It's flat chat cricket. It's fun. It's just exciting. It's just some people having fun.
Yeah. And so that sounds really exciting. You've also got the 24-hour cricket challenge. Tell me about that. Playing cricket for 24 hours?
Yeah, so 15 of us boys and us girls are going to Sri Lanka for a Cardiff Met Cricket tour. Obviously, being Bucks champions, we can now afford to have some international experience with us, and we can afford to travel out. But obviously, we have to fundraise because not everybody can pay their amount. So we hosted a 24-hour cricket challenge thing in the sports hall, and we were lucky to have Mr. Alan Wilkins bowl the first ball for us. The Morgan legend. He also played for Gloucestershire. Is a legendary cricket commentator and broadcaster for Star Sports India. So yeah, it was big of him to come down to the sports hall and bowl the first ball to kick things off for us. And after that, we trained for 24 hours. Obviously, we all took turns, but it was still pretty exhausting to fill the night shift, especially for me.
Well, I mean, how long a shift do you take? Like, how does it work?
So I had the 4-hour shift from night, 12 a.m. midnight to 4 a.m. That was difficult, but we have to do this because we got some decent traction on it. We got some decent viewership for the 24-hour cricket challenge, and hopefully that leads to good fundraising as well for us.
Yeah, that's great.
So what with that trip to Sri Lanka? If you can just let us know a bit more about it. You know, what are you going to be doing, and how important is it for you to go to Sri Lanka and see what it's like there to play cricket?
Yeah. Obviously, like as I mentioned, that we are Bucks champions, and the Bucks season starts pretty late on in May, goes on for a couple of months, and that means it's a big time for us in the summer to prepare. And Sri Lanka comes off as a pre-season for us, and we planning to go there to kind of test ourselves in different conditions, because now that we have Bucks champions, we know we are pretty good in Britain. But what happens if you go out of Britain? What happens when you play in conditions which is not so favorable to our fast bowlers, to our spinners? It's a bit hot and dry and humid over there. Yeah. So it really depends on how we make it over there for our confidence levels. And yeah, it's just an exposure for most of our players and teammates. And as a club, we've never gone abroad anywhere. We've always travelled within Britain. Obviously we've done pretty good in the UK. We've pretty much defeated every opposition which has come in our way, but it's a different ball game when we travel all the way to South Asia. And yeah, the weather is going to be against us. It's going to be so much of different things. First time experience for many of us lads, so that's going to be fun.
That's great. How excited are you?
Oh yeah, super pumped for it. We have less than a month to go, and I am super pumped for it.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, thanks so much, Bav. And before you leave, we'll ask you the sneezing question again, because we've asked every guest so far. If sneezing ceased to exist, how long do you think it would take for you to notice?
I think 10 minutes.
You said 10 minutes?
As an Indian living over here, I sneeze all the time because of the cold. So yeah, I'm going to notice in 10 minutes for sure. Great question, by the way, legendary.
Fair enough.
Tell you what, in 10 minutes, I'm gonna see if you sneeze. I'm gonna ask you. So remember. Well, thanks so much, Bav, for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you've been a great guest. Thank you so much, Bav.
Thank you, Bav.
Cheers.
Bavia, the sneezer Doshi, star cricketer here.
Who knew? 10 minutes. I don't think anyone would come in with an answer.
I've been sitting next to Bavia for the last 4 or 5 months, and I've not heard that many sneezes. Maybe a few, but
not
that
crazy
many
amounts.
every 10 minutes. Not for me.
Well, thanks so much, Bab, for joining us. And we're now joined by Hugh Gwynn. Hugh, how's it going?
I'm not bad. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Thank you so much. And you're here to tell us about the new sports bulletin and what's been going on campus.
I am. Thank you very much, Will. Good afternoon. The Wales women's national football team have recorded their first win in 10 months last night after beating the Republic of Ireland by 2-0. New Wales head coach Rhian Wilkinson was in attendance and she'll take charge of her first match during the April international window. Will Evans scored his 20th goal of the season as Newport beat Harrogate by 4-1 to take them up to 10th place in the League 2 table. Whilst Wrexham drop out of the automatic promotion spots as they drew 1-1 with the struggling Forest Green Rovers, who sit 23rd in League 2. Current Cardiff Met rugby player Romain Zheng scored in Harlequins' defeat to Munster last Friday. He's also in the Cardiff Met squad for the Bucks Super Rugby clash against Exeter that's happening right now. Flintshire-born Jade Jones won the gold medal in the Taekwondo at the Slovenia Open. She continues the road to the Paris Olympics with a second gold medal this year. And finally, Andy Murray has said that he hopes to compete at another Olympic Games before he retires. The 36-year-old suggested on Monday that he may only have a few months left in his playing career. He lost his last 16 match in the Dubai Open against Humbert earlier on in the day, losing 6-2, 6-4.
Great, thank you so much, Hugh. The information really helped there, and that's good to talk about sports stories. We're just going to ask you about the sneezing question just before we go and talk about Andy Murray, because I'm sure that's a big topic for everyone.
Yeah.
So if sneezes cease to exist, how long do you think it would take for the unit to notice?
Well, I've got to say, this is a big question, and I've been thinking about this for a while now, and I've got to say, it would probably take me about 3 months to realise.
3 months?
3 months, yeah. It would take me a long time, to be honest, because I don't really take much attention of people sneezing.
Yeah.
And it's not in the forefront of my mind
Exactly.
or every day. So, yeah, 3 months.
I think
That's my final
good
answer.
shout.
I think 3 months is a roundabout claim because it depends what months they are as well. If it's across
No,
the
it's so
summer,
true.
it depends. Or
It's
if
all
it's very
contextual.
pollinated, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think 3 months. Yeah, it's a decent claim. I'll rate that, Hugh.
Great.
Oh, thank you.
I'll rate it.
Right, thanks, Hugh. Thanks for joining us. So as Hugh just mentioned then, Andy Murray wanting to play in the Olympics. What do you think of that, Tobes?
I mean, I'm not sure, to be honest, because he's representing. Obviously, he is Scottish, but representing Great Britain. Is he the best we have at the moment, Andy Murray? I mean, we can look back to see his past successes. Of course, winning Wimbledon, and we look back at him almost as a legendary figure of tennis, especially British tennis. But is he really the man to kind of drive us forward? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about it anymore. So, yeah, questionable decision for me. But
I mean,
not for me.
Yeah,
Not for me.
He is getting on now. I mean, he was always part of the big four. Should there been a big four? Should it just really been in the big three? He's getting on now. I mean, we could definitely get someone better, but I respect.
Definitely. The longevity of his career, I think you have to respect. And I think with the big four, big three question, I think it kind of depends on where you go. As Brits, we'll probably say big four because we'll shoehorn him in as soon as we can. But yeah, I think if you go abroad, it's probably a big three opposed to a big four.
Yeah, definitely. And so, as Who mentioned just a second ago, we've got our friends over in Ball State coming over to Cardiff very soon. They're coming actually. They landed in yesterday. We've been partnered with them for quite a while now, and it's finally coming to the point where we're able to meet them, and we're really excited to work on the projects with them as well. Obviously, they're coming over from Ball State University to talk about how they cover sports broadcasting in America.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, hopefully share with us some wisdom about maybe how it's different in America, how it's covered today. We're just trying to get into contact with Dominic from Ball State. Dom, can you hear me?
Oh no, I think we're having some difficulties there with Dom. Can you hear
Dominic,
us?
hello, how you going? Can you hear us? Oh, I think we may be reconnecting. We might just...
Oh, hello, Dom. Can you hear us? Hello, Dom.
Wi-Fi in Cardiff probably isn't as good as it is in America.
No,
is it?
probably
got
not.
Better in America. Dom, how's it going, my friend? Are you good? I think he has answered the call. Well, we can talk about Ball State a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe before he gets better Wi-Fi. I mean, he's probably coming off the coming off the plane just yesterday. Probably phone isn't.
I think they
sitting
landed
to
this
the best.
morning, actually,
They
about
landed
9
this
a.m.
morning.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Took them about 18 hours to get here, I believe. So, yeah, quite a while.
Quite a while. Dom, can you hear us?
No, I don't think he can, to be honest. I think he might be having some
We
technical
might be
issues
having
there with
some
Dom
technical difficulties.
from Ball State.
Never mind. It was always nice to talk to people coming over from Ball State. We've got a bit of a week planned with them, haven't we? We're going to take them around Cardiff, try and show them some of the ends. We got some exciting features coming up with some of the athletes from Cardiff Met. We've got an exciting one with Fumi Odawai, who's ex-basketball player, now gone on to shot put. She's a really exciting talent here at Cardiff Met. That's one of the projects we're looking for. Toby, what are you working on when they come?
I'm on the one with the boxer, Liam. So I believe he uses the boxing as a way of like reforming people, especially like he does it within prisons and in kind of less favourable areas within Cardiff.
Dom, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you guys this time.
Dom,
Sorry about
hey,
faulty
lovely
connection the
stuff.
first time. There we go.
How's it going? You good? Dom, how's it going?
hold
You
on.
okay?
Let
That's
me-
all right. Don't worry, my friend.
No, you're good, man. We're doing good, dude. We're chilling right now in the Sport Wales International or the National Center. So we're just we're kind of chilling out right now before we.
Oh, lovely stuff. How you finding Cardiff? How was the flight over?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't awful. 3 different flights. So for those that don't know, I'm sure you guys have mentioned it, but coming from Indiana, so we had to go from the Indianapolis National Airport, fly over to John F. Kennedy in Queens, New York, and then the long, the one that everyone dreads, the 7-hour flight from JFK to Amsterdam, which actually wasn't awful.
Okay, cool.
Good movies, good entertainment.
Nice.
So we got that, and then afterwards had about a 2-hour layover in Amsterdam, and flew over to Cardiff, and here we are. So
yeah, now
so
you're
yeah.
here. What are you most excited about visiting Cardiff?
Oh, so much. I mean, not only to just work with you guys in general, but work with these athletes that we've got the documentaries, but just the different places, the different culture, right? I actually had one of my good buddies, Ollie Thompson, who was actually in your guys' program, came over to Ball State to be one of our graduate assistants. He gave me a bunch of different places and locations, some of the arcades and stuff, and he said I had to try Nando's. So
you're gonna
there's a lot of there's a lot that I'm excited to see and do with the group that we've got, and we're excited for you guys to show us around as well. But I mean, I think the big thing to be excited about, right, is this whole big collaboration, doing this big documentary, and also working, being able to work with these Welsh athletes with huge aspirations, and then also work the Buck Super Wednesday. I mean, that's what I'm probably super passionate about.
Is that what you're
just
most
because
excited about? Is it?
Maybe, yeah. If I had to say, I would say that, just because I like to lean more towards the live production side, if that's what I was to pursue for a professional career. But I mean, I'm just excited for it all. I'm excited to dip my toes into every single bit of this trip.
Yeah, it's really exciting to have you guys here with us. And so I'm not sure, have you been out so far in Cardiff? Have you seen a little bit of the city? And if you have, what are your first impressions?
I haven't been out too much of the city, but we've seen the outskirts, and first impressions obviously very different from what we're used to in the States. But I think we walked past Municipality Stadium, right? I don't know if I said that right.
No, yeah.
But
yeah, no, you got it.
But yeah, I'll take that. I can't believe I got that right on the first try. But no, we walked past there, and we what else did we do? We stopped by some little coffee shops around that little park area outside of the city. So I had my first experience with Welsh cakes, and I will indeed be going back for seconds.
Oh,
will
very
indeed be
nice.
going back for seconds. Not only are they at a great price, but they're just incredible.
Yeah.
So we had to hit that up. But we're about in about 35-ish minutes about to go do. You guys set up a nice scavenger hunt for us and a treasure hunt. So we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
explore some parts of the city and
Yeah.
get to know it more. But from what I've seen, I've liked so far. I really have.
Great. Well, apologies for the rain as well coming over.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have
Need to get used to it.
Oh, no, you're
a
good.
little bit
Need
in
to get used to
Cardiff.
the rain.
But yeah, thank you so much for talking to us, and we're really excited to work with you. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Absolutely, that sounds good. I appreciate you, Will. I appreciate all you guys over there. We're excited to get this thing going, and thanks for having me on.
No worries.
Brilliant.
Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much.
Dom.
Cheers. Bye. Bye. So that was our friend over in Ball State coming over to Cardiff, experiencing the Jersey weather. But yeah, we're really excited to work with them. So stay updated with Cardiff Met Sport TV to see all the collaborations we're going to do with Ball State. And I think that's all from us, isn't it, Toby?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've covered a wide range of sports. Been a really good show, really enjoyable. So yeah, thank you, Will.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on Cardiff Met Radio.